class, never missing class was very important. Then I went to graduate school, and the same thing. I never missed class. Very seldom did I miss a class. And I did all my papers. I did a good job on my research papers. And one time I went down to the registrar's office just to check on something. And it happened to be a sister. And she looked at my transcript and she said, she was startled. She said that I did not have any incompletes on my transcript and no failures. And this was very unusual for a black student. I thought it was quite normal. So I did everything I was supposed to do, and this is how I got my degree. I did not go to my graduation. I just told them, okay, I'm finished. You can send it to me, but I did not march. And that's how I got it. Now, why did I get the degree? I got the degree because David Walker wrote David Walker's Appeal and put heat on white people. There's a scene in the documentary that portrayed David Walker and Maria Stewart. Sometimes you'll hear her name as Maria Stewart. This was a dramatization. You see the both of them walking away, and they both declared simultaneously, the only way we will get our freedom is when we go to war with these people. David Walker and Maria Stewart. She was one of the first sisters to write a book. She was one of the first sisters to walk around and go around and lecture about the indignity of being enslaved. She was very courageous, and many of the brothers and sisters stayed away from her because she was so fearless and courageous. Then there was Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, and Gabriel Prosser. They launched their rebellions. This was instrumental in why I got my degree. Then there was Martin Delaney, who talked about going back to Africa. There was Henry Wilmot Blyden, who, as the president of Liberia College, in one of his speeches said, Africa for the Africans. And Martin Delaney, the article says, Martin Delaney, before there was Marcus Garvey, there was Martin Delaney, who was a physician, a brilliant, brilliant African who put a lot of heat on the white dominators. Then, of course, there was the Queen, Ida B. Wells. What a marvelous sister. We owe her a deep debt of gratitude for her fearlessness and her tireless work on our behalf. There was Sojourner Truth, who put heat on white people. Then there was, of course, Marcus Garvey and his UNIA. There was Drusilla Dunjee Houston, who wrote The Wonderful Ethiopians of the Kushite Empire. In the 1920s, she wrote this book, a fascinating book, and I marvel at the fact that this sister had the strength to not only do the research and write the book, but find a way to get it published. It took a tireless energy for her to do that. Then I got down. You want to know why I got my degree? I got my degree because a little black man from Georgia named Elijah Muhammad, when you read his book, The Life of Elijah Muhammad by Dr. Curtis Alexander, man, I read the book. I said, wow, look at this brother. How could he have such vast knowledge, just going to the second or third grade and have this deep wisdom? And Elijah Muhammad told us two things. He said the white man is the devil, and he told us to do for ourselves. among other things. He said how to eat to live instead of how to eat to die. So he brought forward all of this pressure on the white dominators. That's why I got my degree. Then there was a little obscure brother. Fascinated with him, William Patterson. He has a book entitled The Man Who Cried Genocide, and then later he and Paul Robeson teamed together along with Louise Patterson and Bea Richards, and they forged this bond to get us organized to fight against the white dominators and put heat on the white dominators. Then there was this congressman, Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. Dr. John Henry Clark said Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. was the only politician we ever had. And Adam Clayton Powell, Jr., slick brother, fast-talking but knowledgeable. He always had everything covered. And he went to Congress. They said when he went to Congress as this black man, he went to the cafeteria. And they said, well, we don't serve black people in this cafeteria. So the next day, Adam Clayton Powell went and got a waiter. He brought the blackest black man he could find. And he said, well, you serving us today. Man, he put the heat on the white dominators. Of course, they concocted this plot to oust him from Congress. And, man, but we didn't stop. After Adam Clayton Powell, there was Malcolm X. After Malcolm X, there was Robert F. Williams. You should get his book entitled The Black Crusader or Radio Free Dixie. This brother out of Monroe, North Carolina, said as the member of the NAACP, oh, the white people arrested these two young brothers. They were 10, 12 years old. They arrested them on bogus charges. The jury will find them innocent. There's no evidence against them. So Robert Williams, a Vietnam vet, he laid back. And this bogus white jury found these boys guilty and sentenced them to an insane number of years in prison. Robert F. Williams said, eventually, Negroes, we need to get guns. So his book and his tape is Negroes with Guns. So he put the heat on the white dominators. Then there was Chairman Fred Hampton, young brother, 19 years old, out of Chicago. Wasn't running around with his pants down, didn't have no rims on his car. 19 years old, one of the most feared brothers in America. He said to the white dominators, he said it takes two to tango. And some of the language he said I can't repeat here. But he said also, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution. Then there was George Jackson, Soledad Brothers, put the heat on the white people, on the white dominators. And his brother Jonathan said, hey, man, y'all arrested my brother? You got him tied up in a chair? You got his mouth gagged in your courtroom? So the young brother gets his squad together. They go to the jail. They go to the courthouse. He got a shotgun under his coat. He busts in the joint, and he says, I'll be taking over now. And he tapes the shotgun to the judge's head. This is George and Jonathan Jackson. Black August is dedicated in part to Marcus Garvey, to George and Jonathan Jackson, and other fighters. Then there was